Hello Aries, this is Victoria and I'm here with your March tarot forecast. As always, we'll be looking at your love life, your career and workspace, and we'll get you guidance from the universe on how to best utilize the energy of the month of March. At the end, I'll pull some messages from your person of interest to yourself, so stick around for that. And we'll begin with a quick oracle message. So let's do that. Please remember that these readings are for Sun, Moon, and Rising Aries. So if you're watching this for a Sun sign, you've got two messages. Oh, three. Oh, maybe we'll pull another card. If you're watching this for a Sun sign, which is when your birthday is, you might want to check out readings for your other placements as well. I used to have this section in my description box where you could see, maybe there's still actually a link of where you can find out what those other ones are if you don't know. But I feel like these days you can just put in your information, but it needs to include the time of birth as well and the location, like the city, the country, and then you'll be able to get all the information on your natal chart. It's a lot more accessible now. And yeah, it makes a big difference, honestly, especially when reading or watching different horoscope messages, for zodiac signs. Like, I definitely feel that I resonate a lot more with the Scorpio messages, which is my rising sign, rather than Taurus messages, which is my sun sign. And the best idea, of course, is to watch all three, sun, moon, and rising or ascendant, and then you'll get a more well-rounded message altogether. More importantly, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. So, Aries, for your message of the month, you've got the fellow travelers. Support is all around you. Speaking of which, I have a little fellow traveler over there sleeping. But yeah, I can totally relate that. The reason I brought the cat up, because there are animals here, and fellow travelers don't necessarily have to be people. They don't even have to be physically traveling with you from place to place. As the person who has traveled from place to place for the last 9 months or so, I would say, and I've been spending time with animals a lot, I would say definitely they do count as fellow travelers, even if they are not your pets, even if they don't actually move from place to place with you, right? But they provide emotional support, they hold space, they bring you joy, they're a source of unconditional love. And it's important, right? It's important to acknowledge this kind of support as well, not just somebody actually approaching you like another person and saying things to you, or even doing favors to you, helping you out like with specific actions, right? Animals just do it naturally. But if you feel lonely, if you feel on your own at this time, this is a reminder that you're not. And of course, you have your angels, your guides, your ancestors looking over you and supporting you. Speaking of which, we've got the Judgment card as the first one out of the deck. This is also Scorpio energy. It could be dealing with a Scorpio, but I'll get more into this in a minute when I'm done with the spread. But the first card in the spread is always the strongest, right? And it's interesting that I was just talking about this connection with the guides, the angels, right? Like hearing the voice, the downloads, being open to connection, at the very least with your higher self, with your soul space. All right, then we have 10 of Wands, bit of a change of vibe, and we have 2 of Wands. Okay. For a career space, you have the High Priestess. That's Pisces energy, and we are in Pisces season right now. This is a lot about connecting with higher power too. So very interesting how it spills over into your work life too. King of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. This could be you, Aries, or it's someone else. Like, there are definitely other people involved in your workspace and career story. Advice, 9 of Cups, Queen of Cups, and 6 of Cups. Lots of cups here. Bottom of the deck, 6 of Swords. Yeah, you may be feeling emotional during this time. We are in Mercury retrograde, just got out of the eclipse season and is still impacting us. There's a lot going on generally, right? But it may also be connected to some kind of unresolved situations from the past. Like I started talking about, especially with this fellow travelers, that you may be feeling lonely or abandoned or neglected, and this could be stemming from a childhood wound, right? Just like being brought up in a different context, and you never know when it's gonna sneak up on you, right? And show its ugly face. But remember that also these scenarios are being brought to us sometimes over and over again, so we can go deeper into this energy, accept it, acknowledge it, show up with love, and heal, right? So it means you're ready for that next level of healing in this theme. And honestly, with these cards, I don't really see other people involved here, and it doesn't have to be, because more than anything, this part of the spread is about personal space. If you are in a relationship right now, it's important to focus on where you are, the direction that you want to take, the burdens that you seem to be carrying, even if it's being triggered by another person that's next to you. It's important to go back to your quote-unquote church, right? You may not necessarily be a religious person, but whatever your belief system is around the higher power that you believe in, or even the power of the universe, right? Doesn't matter, but it's important to re-establish that connection, to nurture it, to be connecting almost religiously, I'm hearing, actually. I mean, I know it's probably not the best word to use in this context, but we just had a lunar eclipse in Virgo, and Virgo energy was reminding us about the importance of discipline, consistency, and sticking to the plan day in, day out. Not just like drawing a big plan and, you know, going to bed dreaming about it. That may not be a bad advice either, but let's face it, it's important then to take aligned action with what it is that we want to build. No matter how far it seems from us, you know, that it's like, yeah, it's not gonna happen for a while, so I might as well relax, you know, like, no. You can start going backwards from there to like where you are now and see how you can bridge that gap, at least with your mentality, with your way of living, with your belief system, with your identity, essentially. What kind of changes do you want to make? For your career space, you have the High Priestess, the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands. So yes, several people involved. There's several elements too. This is water, fire, and earth. The only one we don't have here is air. But I feel like it's because you actually are pretty heavy in the air energy yourself, meaning the air is about analytics, about logic, about planning, about using numbers, right? And this is asking you to go more into other energies, right? Fire, by the way, this is the feminine implementation of fire. It doesn't matter even whether you identify as feminine or masculine energy, but the feminine version of the fire energy is about passion, but also it's about inspiration and creativity more than anything else, right? So how do you bring that to your workspace, to your projects, to, I don't know, how you connect with your clients, your peers, your bosses? The King of Pentacles is about being good with money, being good at budget planning, right? How are you dealing with that, right? Maybe you're dreaming of a lot of abundance in your life, but you're, again, like with the steps that you're taking with the money you have or other resources that you have, you're not really showing readiness for that. Or you don't show that, you know, this is that kind of vital energy, you know, that helps you get the lifestyle that you want, right? That diligent attitude, is it there? And then finally, High Priestess is, and this is a major arcana, so this is a reminder from your higher power about how powerful you are and how strong your intuitive guidance is, your intuitive feeling, your gut feel. How much do you use that instead of numbers, right? Like, numbers are very important for an informed decision, but they shouldn't be, you know, the end of the game. They shouldn't be the way that you make those decisions, right? how can you bring more of that intuitive feeling, right? With what or who is in your corner, or what or who is in need of investment, I'm hearing for some reason. So anyway, I'm just gonna say it, right? Not what makes sense because it's a safe bet, but what feels right. And finally, going into the advice, as I mentioned before, we have a lot of water energy here, very emotional. A lot of emotions from your childhood could be coming up. In this particular deck, it's also the generational connection here, right? So it could be about either you remembering your childhood. It could also be, if you have children, remembering time with them when they were younger. Could be connected with pets. We started with those fellow travelers, right? Going into those stories. And at the first sight, it might feel like too much to handle. It might feel painful, like I'm not sure I want to go back there and relive it all. But it actually helps you unlock who you are and what you want right now. And it seems quite obvious, but trust me, vast majority of people do not ask themselves that question for real, right? Like so many people that I've spoken to, that I've seen in my own life, they just kind of like, okay, so you're supposed to get a job, so they get a job. You're supposed to get married, so they get married. Have kids, right? Buy a house. And it's like on paper, the boxes are checked because that's what people do, right? But are they happy? Do they even know if these things make them happy? They're content to a certain degree. They're satisfied to a certain degree. They create a comfort zone for themselves. But it doesn't equal happiness, right? And that's where it gets scary for a lot of people, to really like start from a clean slate and just paint what is it that you want in your life. Maybe that could be an exercise too. By the way, for some people it could be easier just to paint, because I know and I've learned a number of similar exercises, but they're all connected with meditation state and picturing it in your mind, right? But for some people it might actually be easier just to draw or to paint on a piece of paper. Why not? Last but not least, let's get some messages for Aries from their person of interest. I have a candle in front of me that I lit up, and it has the word joy on it. So just wanted to point it out. I feel like it's really one of the major themes for this time, for the month of March, if you will. We also have spring equinox in this month. In the US, that's when the spring officially begins. And the change of seasons is like one of the major, it's also the beginning of the zodiacal wheel. So we are ending it with now the Pisces energy, and then it's gonna restart with Aries, right? And that's also like a major restart, a major beginning of a new phase. So, message from a person, Page of Swords, Ace of Swords. Look at that, that's the air we didn't see in your reading. By the way, not a single sword card in your read. And we have two with your person. So it seems like they're the one doing the thinking and overthinking and maybe downplaying the situation or downplaying themselves. I have this feeling, especially with this Page of Swords, that this person may be thinking that they're not good enough, or they will not be able to pull it off, whatever your plan together is. Or maybe it has nothing to do with you. For some of you, it's like something in their own life that they need to figure out, and they are scared that they won't, right? And even if it's not directly connected with you, it's still, because it's a close relationship, it still impacts you. So anyway, your person is searching for the truth. They want to figure it out, who they are, how to proceed, what will bring them satisfaction, happiness, joy, and self-discovery. But it's not an easy process. It's kind of a bumpy ride. So they could also be less mature than you emotionally. And so when the person is less mature or is not mature enough, it can really throw them off, you know. It can feel like they're being thrown back and forth and like around, you know, like in one of those pits maybe. I don't know what I'm trying to picture right now, but when it's like it's chaotic and it's like before you know it, it's the next bump, it's the next bump, it's the next bump, and without a clear direction, and that could feel even more scary. but they're trying to work their way to the truth and to the resolution. All right, I hope this was useful for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, bye.